Hi, I'm Julian and this is Isaac. We're both from the field technology team here in Sydney at h2o.ai, and we're really excited to show you a new tool that we've been working on to integrate h2oGPTe, which is our main generative AI platform, with GitHub, and it's called h2oGPTe Action. And so h2oGPTe Action actually allows you to bring agents directly into your GitHub workflows. You can simply tag h2oGPTe in pull request review comments or even issue bodies.
To show you how it works, we'll be using this repository. It's an LLM proxy that we've built, and we'll be adding features to it throughout the series to demonstrate how h2oGPTe can be used in a real-life workflow. We'll have 4 use cases, but first of all, we'll show you how to install it in the next video.
Welcome back. In this video, we're going to walk through how you can actually install the action on your repository. So before we begin, we actually have to make sure we have the repository we can install the action into. And for this video, we're going to be using that same repository we introduced in the intro video.
Yep. So now we're going to jump into GitHub, our action here. If we scroll down to the quick start section, we can see that we've actually created an installation guide. So we'll copy this and then jump over to our terminal. So now that we're in our terminal, we're going to paste and run our installation script.
Cool. We can see that the install script's already detected our repository. We're going to go ahead and confirm that now. And so next, we actually need to set up our server config. So there's 2 options here. The first being the freemium option. We're going to go ahead and choose that. There's also the custom h2oGPTe server option. You can go and choose that if you have h2oGPTe installed in your company. So next, we have to create the API key secret. And the first thing we need to do is grab an API key from h2oGPTe freemium. So we're going to create a new API key and we're just naming it. Once we generate one, we can copy it and then head back to the terminal to get the link to GitHub where we're going to create the secret. And we're going to paste and name the secret h2oGPTe API key. Perfect. And when we go back, now we need to set up the API base as a secret in GitHub as well. So we can see that the install script's already given us the link. We're going to copy that and then go to the link in step 2 and paste the secret and name it h2oGPTe API base. Perfect. So we're going to head back to the script. We can see that our setup is complete. Now all we need to do is commit the workflow. And once we've committed the workflow, we can push, and that's everything there is to it. So now that we've installed the action in our repository, we're going to jump into some more use cases in the next video. In this use case, we're going to show how to use h2oGPTe to review code changes.
Yep, so we'll jump over to the repo here. We can see that I've made a PR to add rate limiting to our API. Now I'm going to ask h2oGPTe to review the changes that I've actually made. To do this, we can tag h2oGPTe in a comment. So at h2oGPTe, review this PR.
Okay, cool. We can see that h2oGPTe has started to work on our request. We'll come back later and see what the result looks like.
So we can see that h2oGPTe has responded now. It's given a quick overview of what the PR is good at and lacks.
And yeah, what I really like about the response is this next steps portion here, and it gives you a really good action item list here and what you can look at next. So for example, in this first up point, it's talking about adding memory safeguards, for example.
Yeah, and it's really great that I can then, click the chat session and then get some really good observability about what the agent has actually done.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's pretty much it for this use case where we're tagging h2oGPTe in a PR review comment. And so in the next few videos, we're going to show you how you can use the action in even more use cases.
In this video, we'll be looking at how h2oGPTe can help us debug our code.
Yeah, so we've been working on LLM completions in our repository, but we're running into some errors.
Yep, so if I run npm test here, we can see that there are a bunch of errors. So what I did was I actually just screenshotted one of these errors and I put it into our GitHub issue.
Yeah.
So we can see the issue is in the comment here, in the description, sorry. And now I'm just going to comment and ask it to debug. So at h2oGPTe, fix this bug. And I'll hit comment.
Yeah, and so the really important thing here is that we've actually added the bug as a screenshot. So let's see how h2oGPTe can handle that one. And yeah, we're going to come back later and see what the response is.
So we can see that h2oGPT has actually made a comment underneath.
And we can see here, there's actually a PR created. Let's see if we can find the link to the PR, and there it is, cool. Yeah, and so it's made actually like a commit. Let's see if the tests actually work now.
Yeah, so I'm just going to pull this branch into our local to make sure that it's actually fixed the test. So if we git checkout origin / yep, so that's worked. Now, if we just run npm test straight off the bat, we can see that it's actually passed all the tests, so it's actually fixed all the tests for us.
Perfect. Okay, so to recap, in this use case video, we looked at how we can use h2oGPTe to debug issues directly from GitHub. In this video, we're going to look at how we can integrate custom prompts into the action itself. And so in our GitHub repository, we have a range of examples already pre-built. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at the auto PR review agent. And we have the example config here. It's actually already set up. So this is a fully working example that you can put into your repository without changing any configuration.
So now I'll copy and paste it into our repo. So we can see here that I've pasted it into h2oGPT autopr.yaml. And it's really important that it's in the .github/workflows file. So now that it's set up, we can go back to the repo that we've been working in this whole time. And I've created a branch to support other endpoints. So now if I create a PR, it'll run the workflow.
All right, so we can see that the PR review agent is already underway, and we'll come back and see what the results look like.
As we can see here, h2oGPT has left a comment, so some strengths that we've had in the PR, and then also plenty of areas for improvement.
And that's just one example of how we can integrate prompts into the action. In this final use case video, we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to use h2oGPTe's deep research capability to help us with a feature that we're building.
Yep, so we're going to implement a caching system, but I'm not quite sure how to do it. So I'm going to ask h2oGPT to help us with this issue. So if we just write in h2oGPT, research the most suitable package for request caching in this repository, and provide an overview on how to use it. Once we hit comment, it'll start running, and we can come back when the result's ready.
All right, cool. Looks like h2oGPTe returned a response, and from the looks of it, Fastify Caching and Node Cache were recommended, and we've got some additional reasoning here as well, which we can look into. And this concludes the use case series. If you want to try it out yourself, head to the h2oGPTe Action GitHub repository.